In this video, I'm going to answer a few questions I had regarding this video here, the 2023 Bonneville Speed Week drone footage. I was really surprised with one of the comments I got by Extra Rider when I first released the video. Kind of thanking me that having to, for putting it out there, and I, well, that's just normally what I would do. But I think he knew something I didn't know, and I'll discuss that with you. I'm used to getting comments on my videos, but mostly the same people commenting. And I don't get a lot of harsh comments on my videos usually. But I think Extra Rider knew I was going to get some comments less than flattering, and I did. I got a lot of positive comments. By far, mostly the comments were positive. But I thought I'd explain a couple things to people that are new subscribers from that video, or maybe just viewers of that video. I think some people were under the impression that was my first time out at the Bonneville Salt Flats, and another one said I should go to South Dakota in the wintertime and learn how to ride. Then I had a few of those "you need to learn how to ride" comments. It's like, one fellow thought, honestly, he just saw part of the video and thought, wow, it has to be the slowest crash ever at Bonneville. I'm going, what do you mean? I said, it was like 75 to 80 miles an hour. Jump out of your car at 75, 80 miles an hour. That's not slow. He was thinking it was like 20 miles an hour. And I go, well, I could see, I look at the video and go, hey, if you don't know a lot about stuff, you can't judge the speed out there looking at the video sometimes. It's really hard to do that. So I cut him some slack on that. But for the people that was the first time kind of viewing the channel, which most of the viewers, 99.9% were, that was my 8th time running at the Bonneville Salt Flats. I've had 49 runs out there, up to almost 200 miles an hour. So it was 7 different bikes, so it was by far not my first rodeo out there. And some people were legitimately concerned that you're hearing that the rear wheels slipped, spin. Well, the true fact of it is, out in Bonneville, that almost every bike over like 150 horsepower will slip the rear tire almost the entire 3 or 4 miles that you're riding out there. I mean, it's going to spin up. You hit a soft, even if you got perfect traction, you're going pretty good, you hit soft spots out there, and then the bike's going to spin up. It's this normal course of action out here. Doesn't mean it's going badly. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing, because your rear wheel is spinning. Especially for the 260 horsepower bike on some wet salt, you can ride it at 20 miles an hour and it wouldn't spin. But what we're trying to achieve everybody has goals when they go out there. Of course, our goal was a record, but the real goal was on that run I crashed on was 170 miles an hour. And we knew we had to get to 140 miles an hour in that first mile. Okay? We'd run a couple 160 mile an hour runs, which I don't think most of the people had saw. And we had a pretty bad weave in the front end on that bike. So I already knew about the weave, and I could ride the bike. I couldn't ride it flat out because of the weave. But I knew what I could do But the truth of it is I had the front end weaving and just a little bit. About the same time, the back end broke loose a little bit more than I could handle. And usually I can handle a lot more spin of the rear wheel because the foot pegs are directly underneath my legs there. So what you do is basically you kind of stand up, kind of raise up a little bit off the seat and let the bike move underneath you. So it'll move to the left, it'll move to the right, and you just keep the power on. And usually this, it kind of straightens out. The spin kind of straightens out and you can ride on top of it. But most of the time, the spin on the bikes are anywhere from 5 to 1,000 RPMs higher than the actual speed you're going would indicate by the RPMs. So it's not unusual. In fact, it's pretty much routine that you do. Now the problem with that particular Rocket 3, besides the weave, was you have your forward mounted foot pegs. Because you got the forward mounted foot pegs on, you're kind of locked into the position on the seat, so you can't raise your rear end off the bike and let the bike move underneath you. So you end up moving with the bike. Your body ends up further exaggerates the tail whip. So that's what happened. We had a little bit too much tail whip going on with a front end weave, and I couldn't settle the bike down. Now, I knew about the weave, so that was my fault. I knew about the spin, so I just had too much that I went across the line. But the reason I went across the line is we were trying to get to the 140 miles an hour, which was definitely possible in that first mile, so we could get, our sight was set on 170 miles an hour. The previous run I ran the quickest GPS time I ran on that bike that crashed was 66 or 67 miles an hour. The average speed was 164, but the speed by the GPS was like 167. So the bike was certainly capable of doing 170 miles an hour because I didn't push it that hard on the 167 mile an hour run. The reason I got to 140 miles an hour in the first mile is because we got to get up to about 65 miles an hour between the first mile and the second mile. So we can average a good speed in by the third mile, between the second and the third mile. Rules don't allow for that kind of stuff. Like car tires and things like that. They just don't allow for us to run those. So you have to have tires that are speed rated, made for motorcycles. And that's the hardest thing with that Rocket 3, with that big old rear tire. So it wasn't a short video after all, was it? I appreciate you watching, and hopefully some of those 40-odd new subscribers I got from that video are still hanging around by the time they see this one. Join me and my friends at Flat Cap Cafe Racer for riding and racing. Please subscribe.